Hi everyone, I am Rajamal Sankar and my presentation is titled A Walk, a Song and Shared Time. Nature Walking, Favorite Music and Wellbeing through Seligman's PERMA framework. This presentation is based on my assessment 2 autoethnographic self-study. In that project, I explored how a simple everyday activity, walking in nature while listening to favorite music and sometimes sharing the work with my spouse, influenced my well-being and resilience. I analyzed this experience through Seligman's PERMA framework, which includes positive emotion, engagement, relationships, meaning, and accomplishment. This topic matters because well-being does not always require major life changes. Sometimes small and repeated practices can create emotional space and support resilience. As an early childhood teacher, I understand that educators often manage emotional, relational and workload demands. These responsibilities can affect stress level, mood and motivation. Therefore, I wanted to explore a realistic well-being practice that could fit into everyday life. For this self-study, nature, music and shared time become the focus of my positive psychology intervention. This topic also connects to positive education because educators' well-being can influence professional mindset, emotional regulation and relationships with children, families and colleagues. The research question guiding this project was, how does a 7-day nature music walking intervention influence the researcher's well-being and resilience? This question was suitable because it focused on my own lived experience. The intervention was concrete and manageable. It involved 7 days of 20 to 30 minutes walk in a nature environment, listening to favorite music, and then analyzing my reflection using the PERMA framework. The project needed a concrete 7 days experience. In my case, the 7 days were nature walking combined with favorite songs and on some days shared walking time with my spouse. The foundation of this study is positive psychology. Positive psychology focused on strengths, well-being and flourishing rather than only illness, stress or deficit. In this project, I did not use nature walking and music as a clinical treatment. Instead, I used them as an everyday positive intervention to support well-being, emotional regulation and resilience. Morgan and Simpson explain that positive psychology and positive education are concerned with how people can flourish. For me, this meant exploring whether a simple daily practice could help me feel calmer, more motivated, and more emotionally balanced. For the analysis, I used Seligman's PERMA framework. PERMA includes 5 elements of well-being. The first is positive emotions such as calmness, joy, and hope. The second is engagement, which means being focused and present. The third is relationships, which includes connection and emotional support. The fourth is meaning, which relates to purpose and values. The fifth is accomplishment, which involves progress and completing goals. This framework was helpful because each walk could be analyzed through these 5 elements instead of only saying I felt better. Frame helped me explain how and why the intervention supported well-being. Nature walking was an important part of the intervention because research suggests that nature can support mood, reduce stress, and promote restoration. During the walk, nature was not just a background. It becomes an active space for slowing down, noticing and reflecting. I paid attention to sky, trees, fresh air, birds, movement and nature sounds. Olaf Doty and colleagues found that walking in nature can improve mood, while Capaldi and colleagues linked nature connectedness with positive effect and well-being. Keenan and colleagues also showed that nature-based positive psychology activities can support well-being. This helped justify why nature walking was a suitable activity for my self-study. Favorite music was the second part of the intervention. Music is strong, connected with emotion, memory and motivation. In my walk, I choose songs that help me feel calm, hopeful or motivated. These songs were not random. They were meaningful to me. Some reminded me of family Sri Lanka, university life and personal goals. Morgan and Markin describe music listening as a form of emotional regulation. Randall and colleagues also explain that personal music listening can help people reach emotional goals. In my experience, favorite music helps shift my attention away from stress and toward memory, hope, and positive emotion. Methodology, autoethnography. The methodology used in this study was autoethnography. Autoethnography is suitable because the researcher's own lived experience becomes the data. In this study, I was both the researcher and the participant. I was not trying to prove that this intervention works for everyone. Instead, I was exploring my own experience in depth. My spouse was not treated as a research participant. When I discussed shared working time, I only reflected on my own feelings, thoughts, and experience. Elias, Adam, and Bochner explained that autoethnography is not just storytelling. It requires systematic reflection and analysis. Therefore, I connected my personal reflections with positive psychology theory and framework. The intervention was completed over 7 days. Each day I completed a 20 to 30 minute nature walk while listening to favorite songs. Before each walk, I recorded a mood rating from 1 to 10 and wrote a short note about how I felt. During the walk, I paid attention to the environment, music, body movement, thoughts, and any meaningful movements. After the walk, I recorded another mood rating and wrote a reflective journal entry. After 7 days, I reviewed the reflection using PERMA. I looked for patterns related to positive emotion, engagement, relationships, meaning, and accomplishment. The slides show the mood changes across the 7 days. My mood improved after every week. For example, on day 1, my mood improved from 5 out of 10 to 7 out of 10. On day 2, it improved from 6 to 8. On day 5, I experienced a stronger resilience movement. I felt stressed and considered skipping the walk, but I still went ahead and completed it. My mood changed from 4 out of 10 to 7 out of 10. This was important because the intervention did not remove my responsibilities. However, it helped those responsibilities feel more manageable. This shows that the activity supported emotional regulation and resilience. The key finding can be explained through PERMA. For positive emotion, the walk supported calmness, hope, gratitude, and joy. Favorite music helped bring positive memories and emotional relief. For engagement, walking helped me become more present. I noticed the sky, the leaves, the air, and the body movement. For relationships, working with my spouse created a space for conversation, silence, and emotional connection. For meaning, the walks helped me reflect on family, well-being, and my teacher identity. For accomplishment, completing 7 days gave me a sense of progress and confidence. Overall, the intervention supported well-being through the combined experience of nature, music, movement, and shared time. The most important learning from this project was the small intentional practice can build emotional space. Before this project, I sometimes thought well-being needed a big change, such a holiday or a long break. However, this self-study showed me that a short daily walk can still make a difference when it is completed intentionally. Nature supported calmness, music supported emotional regulation. Shared working supported connection. Completing the 7 days supported confidence. This changed my mindset because I realized I can actively support my well-being through realistic and accessible practices. This self-study has some limitation. First, it was only a 7-day intervention, so it cannot show long-term effects. Second, there was only one participant, myself, so the findings cannot be generalized to the others. Third, the data was subjective because they were based on personal mood ratings and reflective journal entries. However, the purpose of autoethnography is not generalization, it is understand lived experience deeply. In the future, I would like to continue nature music walking for longer. I would also like to explore whether similar reflective well-being practices could support educators who experience stress in their personal lives. This personal slide shows that the key reference that supported the presentation. This includes Seligman's PERMA framework, Ellis and colleagues, and autoethnography, prediction, broaden and build theory, and studies on nature walking, music listening, and teacher well-being. To conclude, this project showed me that well-being can be supported through simple everyday action. A walk, a strong and shared time become more than ordinary activities. They become a positive psychology practice that supported calmness, connection, meaning, and resilience. Thank you for listening.